only 26% of our council tenants are actually in work. So that's just a quarter of the total population on our council estates. And 41% of RSL tenants in Islington are in employment. And that is significant, particularly when you consider that 50% of the housing in Islington is social housing. So that's a huge proportion of the population. 1/5 of lone parents in Islington are in employment. And in 2005, 52% of income support claimants in Islington were claiming on the grounds that they were unfit for work. So a high level of sickness benefit. Islington has responded to this by setting up what we call our Regeneration and Community Partnerships team. And we run a number of successful projects to help residents get and sustain work. And this is funded from a variety of sources, but to assist people to access work and training opportunities. One of the things it does do is struggle to engage with those people who are hard to reach. And combined with the concentration of those people on council estates and in social housing, it means that the HEX scheme can bring those two services together and actually try and engage those two groups of people. Keep on closing the so we had a soft launch of a HEX in November, and we completed a compulsory survey of those people. The reason why we did a soft launch of HEX was that only those people on our choice-based lettings scheme were able to access the website, and that's only about 1/3 of the people on our housing register. So any sort of global marketing to the residents would have prevented a number of people accessing the scheme. So we only advertised it to those people who were actually bidding on the choice-based letting scheme. The compulsory survey, I've got the date somewhere. The compulsory survey up until January had 964 completions, which is a significant number between November and January. 607 of those were not in work. We had 280 hits on the jobs page, so people actually went through and got information about jobs. 118 actually engaged with HEX in terms of going through and getting further information, and we had 91 hits of people who went through and engaged with our employment service. So actually we had 91 people who went right the way through and made contact with them. In terms of our future, as we mentioned before, we are a trailblazer for housing options, and we have a series of working with Peabody to extend the housing options on some of our estates. We're carrying out much more extensive training for housing advice staff to make sure that they're providing at the front line, they're providing information on employment and training. And together with our overcrowding officers who are going out and engaging with people who are overcrowded. We're extending access to HEX to all housing applicants. As I mentioned before, only 1/3 of the applicants on the register are able to apply, and so we will be extending that to all the people on the register. And a development of the site to provide real-time referrals to our Regeneration and Community Partnerships, our employment team, to enable us to have people get contacted directly rather than have a time delay. And we'll be relaunching the service this year to actually, when we have the full access to it, to make sure that we've got a much more global marketing campaign to make sure that people on the register know that this exists and that they know what's available. Well, and part of that will be having continuing our series of housing option days in partnership with the employment services to take the information and advice option days out to the community and provide people with a complete service rather than them coming to us. We go out to the community and market it in community centres around the borough. And those have been very successful in the past, and we are going to continue those in the future. So that's just a brief overview of the Islington perspective, and I'll finish there.
Thank you very much.